welcome back to another video where today I'm going to be showing you my historic team for the Brooklyn Nets. If you do not already know the rules in this series, make sure to check out number 1 and also make sure to check out the series or the episodes before this one. Now, we're going to start off with point guard, go to center, and really pick the best players from this Nets franchise. And yeah, let's get right into it. So at point guard, we're starting off very strong at point guard. Not the best player, I would say, in Nets history. However, many people would think right now, I need to think of a Nets player, and he's the best Nets player in history. They may go with this player, is Jason Kidd. The reason I say this is because he's a 10 times All-Star, with 3 of them coming with the Brooklyn Nets. He's a 6 times All-NBA player, 9 times All-Defensive player, a Rookie of the Year. He was an NBA champion with the Mavericks. And his career, he's got to be a Hall of Famer when he's eligible for it, when he's supposed to be going to get put into the Hall of Fame. When he's going to get inducted, he definitely will, because he's just that. He's been an extraordinary player, and for the Nets franchise, playing with the New Jersey Nets, before obviously they moved to Brooklyn, he was just incredible. And we can look at his season, the 2002-2003 season, we can check that out. He had 18.7 points per game, 8.9 assists per game, 6.3 rebounds per game, and 2.2 steals per game. So you can see, he's averaging those points, almost 20. He's averaging almost 10 assists per game. And then he's also very good at rebounding, about 6 rebounds per game, that's pretty good for a point guard. And then obviously 2.2 steals per game is incredible, meaning that he really did everything. Whether it came from defense or passing the ball or shooting the ball, he was a great 3-point shooter. And he played for 4 teams in his career, but 7 seasons, were played with the Nets. So you can tell he not only liked it, you can tell that not only the franchise loved him, but he loved the franchise back, and that's just the perfect combo, I guess you could say. Moving on to shooting guard, we have the man, one of the best dunkers of all time, Vince Carter. He's an 8 times All-Star, a 2 times All-NBA player, a Rookie of the Year, and just like Jason Kidd, he's got to be in the Hall of Fame. Now, in this team, we have 2 players that are current, and Vince Carter is indeed a current player, but probably going to retire next season. Now, Vince Carter played 5 seasons with the Nets, and he was just incredible. If you wanted someone to just come off the bench and just provide a spark, Vince Carter can do that by, throwing down an extremely fascinating dunk that everyone's like, did that just happen? Did he just do that? And that's the type of thing Vince Carter did, which is why, if you need a spark, just bring Vince Carter onto the court and he'll provide a spark. I can tell you that. And Vince Carter didn't just stop. And that's why he's playing at he's over 40 years old. At the age of 30, though, at the age of 30, you're supposed to be calming down, your body's not as good as it was when you're 24. However, at the age of 30, he had 25.2 points per game, 6 rebounds a game, and 4.8 assists per game. That's really good. 25 points per game is really incredible, especially for someone who was at the age of 30. Now, moving on to small forward position, we have what I call the greatest of all time of the series. What I do is I take one player, they're essentially the captain of the team, and, we've had the Hugoat, and then we've also had the Sugoat, and now we have the Nugoat, which is the Nets' greatest of all time. Now, we have to think about who might this player possibly be, and it's the one and only Dr.J, Julius Erving. Yes, he is the Nugoat. He is the top player of this episode, the greatest player, I believe, in the history of the Nets franchise. That's a pretty big title. Including the ABA and whatnot. That's pretty big. And now Julius Erving, Dr.J, he was a Hall of Famer, a 16 times All-Star. That's incredible. Just imagine someone today coming along and having 16 All-Stars. You know they're considered one of the greatest players of all time. He was a 2 times ABA champion, and the two ABA championships he won were 2 out of the 3 seasons he played for the Nets. 2 of those seasons he won the ABA championship. That's pretty incredible. He was a 2 times All-Star MVP, a 7 times All-NBA player. He was also a 5 times All-ABA player, a 4 times MVP. A 4 times MVP. Did you hear me correctly? I said a 4 times MVP. Not many players get 4 times the MVP. You know, that's like LeBron James type player, and that's really what Dr. J was. He was that good of a player, at least what I've heard, because obviously I wasn't back then. But it was only the 75-76 season where he showed his skills the most. And in that season, he had 29.3 points per game, 11 rebounds per game, 5 assists per game, 2.5 steals per game, and 1.9 blocks per game. It just shows how much of an all-arounder he is. And really, all these players on the Nets are just so good at everything. Usually I'll say, like, maybe 2 impressive stats, like points and rebounds. And then I'll save, maybe they're not so good at steals because, well, they don't need to be. But with Julius Erving, he's good at pretty much he is good at every single stat. And we can even look in the playoffs. In the 75-76 season, he did even better. The only thing he did really worsen, or not really worse, but like in the playoffs, to step up. And in those playoffs, he had 0.1 less assists per game and 0.6 less steals per game. However, he had 34.7 points per game, 12.6 rebounds per game, with 5 of those being offensive boards. He had 4.9 assists per game, 1.9 steals per game, and an impressive 2 blocks per game to round those stats up. That's pretty incredible that you're averaging almost 35 points. I don't care if it's the playoffs or the regular season. That's still really impressive because we talk about, that's really good, a player's averaging over 30 points. They're having an incredible MVP season. But to average about 35, I don't care if it's the playoff or if it's the regular season, that's really impressive. But moving on to power forward, we have the one and only Buck Williams. If only he played on the Milwaukee Bucks. But anyway, Buck Williams, though, he was a 3 times All-Star. He was a 4 times All-Defensive Player, a Rookie of the Year with the Nets franchise, and he was also a 1-time All-NBA player. Now, Buck Williams did play 8 seasons with the Nets, so he played a pretty long span with the Nets. You can just see how good he is when he's only playing for the Nets, because as soon as he moved away from the Nets to go to Portland, his stats shot massively. I can prove this by points per game. He had 18.3 points per game with the Nets the season before he left. In that season, he moved to Portland, 13 points per game. So you can see really how good the Nets treated him, how well he treated the Nets, obviously being there for 8 seasons. And we all know players, they want to change the scenery and whatnot. Someone like Kyrie Irving wants to do that. I'll get to the center later, but I guess he wanted to do that, but I'm not sure if he would just got traded. But yeah. And we can even look at it further. In the 84-85 season, he had 18.2 points per game, 12.3 rebounds per game, 2 assists per game, and 1.3 blocks per game, which those stats are incredible. And you can just kind of see that really every season before he moved to Portland, he was a really good player, including winning Rookie of the Year. However, he moved to Portland, and that just showed how good he was with the Nets. And we can even look at it in the playoffs. In the playoffs in that season, he had 24.7 points per game. And now just like Julius Erving, where he stepped up, and I understand, yes, 34.7 points per game is a lot more than 24.7 points per game, but from that regular season to playoffs, they massively stepped up their numbers. And that happens a lot with Nets players. I feel like when I'm making this list, not only are they A lot of these players are all-arounders, I can tell, because Buck Williams, he was great at offense, 18.2 points per game. A great rebounder, 12.3 rebounds per game is really good. And then 1.3 blocks per game, that's pretty good at blocking shots. And 2 assists per game for a power forward, that's pretty good. It's what you expect in a power forward, and that, that just shows he's an all-arounder. Moving on, center position, we have another current player, but this guy's more in his prime. He just got traded from the Brooklyn Nets. It's Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez actually had an All-Star nominee, if you did not know. He was an All-Star, if you did not know. And yeah, in 2015, he had 20.6 points per game, 7.8 rebounds per game, 1.7 blocks per game. And now you think about it, that was only a year ago. That's pretty impressive if you ask me. And in his rookie season, he had 13 points per game, 8.1 rebounds per game, and 1.7 blocks per game. So you can see he really shot up those numbers in the points per game department. However, I believe he was an all-rookie. Not 100% sure on that. However, he was a very good rookie and very good for the Nets' career. And we can even look at this in the 2012-13 playoffs. 22.3 points per game, 7.4 rebounds per game, and an outstanding 3 blocks per game. Brook Lopez is just an insane player, and it's a great player to round off this team because you have players like Buck Williams, Julius Erving, Jason Kidd, and Vince Carter, who are all out of their time period, A player like Vince Carter is, getting on the older age of basketball terms, and all of them else are, not really playing basketball anymore. But Brook Lopez, he's a great center. He's always been good for them. It's every year out. Surprised they traded him, but they did get D'Angelo Russell in return. Maybe he can make the list and replace for, Brook Lopez maybe he'll replace Brook Lopez and then they shift Buck Williams to the center, Julius Erving to power forward, Vince Carter to small forward, Jason Kidd to, he'd probably stay point guard if D'Angelo Russell plays shooting guard. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens with the Nets to next year. I did just recently have a post on the Brooklyn Nets. It was about last week, and it was on their depth chart, so make sure to check that out. Thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy this video. Feel free to hit the dislike button if you did not enjoy this video, but please let me know in the comment section why you didn't like this video. And yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Make sure to also, I forgot to say this because I always do, but hit the subscribe button if you did enjoy this video. Just like if you didn't enjoy this video, hit the like button. I already said that, never mind. But anyways, yes, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching, and have an amazing day. Goodbye.